going on, Sets fam?
What is up, Sets fam?
We're here with head coach Mike of Freehold,
Me,
and then just behind the scenes, Steven here.
the legend.
Let's hop into this. This is the first ever podcast slash video for Sets.
Amazingness.
We're gonna be doing this probably twice a month. We'll have guests on and whatnot. We're gonna be your main hosts, going over basically everything. Usually whatever's focused in. For instance, the Rugged Maniac just happened.
Yeah.
It is Monday, so we're literally a couple days from the Rugged Maniac. We're gonna go over everything, right? From preparation
Everything.
to racing. So let's go right into that, Mike. So,
Yeah.
Rugged Maniac 2019. Initial thoughts.
Initial thoughts. It was a lot harder than I expected it to be. Yeah. I think I really underestimated the heat wave.
Oh, it was hot.
Big time.
It was hot.
Because I was thinking, yeah, it's going to be hot, but it won't be that bad. But then...
And you went in the elite, so that was what, 9 o'clock?
It was 9 o'clock, and it was, I think it was just starting to brew at that time. It was still hot. And, you know, going through the race, my goal was to conserve as much as possible. And then talking with Anthony prior to the bell going off for us to begin, he was telling me to conserve my energy during the woods. And then once the woods was over, to break out. And by the time I got through with the woods...
Yeah, the woods were brutal. Well, it's after the woods, right? And that
After.
sun.
Yeah,
Sun
and
destroyed
once
you.
that hit, I'm like, dude. Plus, the fact that I failed one of the obstacles early on,
Which one?
which is very upsetting. And it wasn't my fault. It was... The obstacle itself was faulty. It was that off the rails one.
Yeah.
So the way it works is you have a dangling rope on a... what would you call it?
It's like a
Essentially a zip line.
zip line, right?
A zip line, essentially.
With a pool underneath.
With a pool underneath, the goal is to build momentum through your speed, grab the rope, fly all the way across, smack the bell, fall in the water, keep going.
Honestly, you shouldn't need that much momentum for that thing.
Not at all.
And the thing, like you said, I barely ran. I grabbed it and it brought me all the way across. But then I saw what you said. I don't know. Did you go to the one? Was it to the left?
It was all the way to the left.
Yeah, that one just stopped working.
Stopped.
People just fell.
When I'm telling you, I ran full speed at
that must have hurt, no?
Full speed. Grabbed it. Stopped halfway, and I'm like...
You see the bell, you just going down.
And I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. And then the other thing was...
But you got to swim across. I didn't realize how deep that pool was.
It's deep.
I was not ready for that. In my head, I don't know why, when I went across and hit the bell, I thought underneath was going to be the land, and I thought I was landing, and I looked down, and it was the water. And then I didn't realize how deep it was, because I was underneath. And then you had to literally swim across.
Yeah.
So that means you were all the way down, and there's no other way around. You have to go.
You have to go. Well, I honestly, I held on still. I let it take me all the way back.
Oh, really?
And I tried again, and it didn't work.
Oh, all that
and I went
time
all the
you
way
lost.
back, exactly. And then I finally went around to the other one that worked, did it, kept going. But that's like added 2 minutes to my time.
Wow, you actually tried to finish. Yeah, I
Yeah,
heard
because
other
I'm
people
not
just went around.
like the people who finished first, second, third place, who skipped all the obstacles, majority of them, which I watched people walk around them and keep going.
Which, if you're just doing it for fun, that's okay. But
By
if
all
you're-
means, but if you're going to be an elite athlete, you should be doing all the obstacles, and if you still have the dignity to accept a first place medal when you skipped, all right, I just don't have to say anything.
Digress.
further. I digress. But I am one that has pride, and I will do every obstacle before I finish. So it took me 3 tries to get that through that. But the thing is, it wasn't my fault, which really annoyed me, and the fact that I saw people going around the obstacles kind of like killed my mood in a sense.
Yeah. Yeah, but
Frustrating
you still,
a little bit.
it's accomplishment. In
The whole
itself.
goal was to beat Anthony, which I fell short of. But I was one station behind that dude. I saw him, jumped over my last fire jump, and he was just getting done with that trampoline station. So I was there, and that's like when I started to turn up because I saw him. But I didn't have anything.
Yeah, you
left
ran
to
up that
attack,
warp
man.
wall like it was
That's
nothing.
I'm gonna tell you, it's like all I had left.
Oh, the warp wall.
Yeah, because once I got over that wall, I couldn't get down it fast enough. Because I was trying to get the guy ahead of me who took 9th. I wanted to take a 10th, but I couldn't get him. I was so tired.
Yeah.
The heat was big time. And then, mind you, like the bruise I have near my butt,
And your head.
and I had a cut on my head. Medic said I was fine, so I just kept going anyway. But Yeah, it was an experience.
And little Brett got 5th place.
Little
Beat
Brett.
both of you guys.
Yeah, shout out to that kid. He's
From Jackson.
up and coming. Little guy.
Like it was nothing.
Like it was nothing.
I saw him finish. I was like, oh, I guess he skipped everything. And then he was like, no, he did everything.
He did everything.
So that kid's a little savage.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just talk about real quick prep. So I know I personally went a week out knowing, try to drink a gallon a day. Coach Brooke and Joe were all over that, all over social media. I know you guys. Would you say a week was enough? I mean, this was a special case because of the heat wave. But for, say, a Spartan coming up or another OCR or whatever it is coming up, how does hydration play into that?
I think that week of is good. I mean, you should be hitting a gallon a day anyway.
Right.
That's the goal because your body is 70% water. So you got to make sure you're refueling that amount at least. So you just take your body weight in pounds, 70%. That should be around there.
Right.
But I think a week is good. It's plenty of time to get the fluid in you because you don't want to start too far out.
Right.
It doesn't make sense to do that. And I know when I was doing my bodybuilding competitions way back in the day, I would start the week of hydrating more and then slowly cutting back. But that's a totally different ballgame. You don't want to do that ever. But yeah, I think a week is strong as far as hydration goes.
No, for actual, because what's interesting, we come from 2 different sides of this. He did the elite. I was just doing, the regular race. So our prep was a little bit different. I just wanted to be healthy and whatnot.
Yeah.
Definitely wanted to step it up for the next time, which is why I think this is a great conversation to have. You were prepping it as as an athlete, getting ready for it. We all know when the rugged's going to be. So when did you start really turning it on? And then at the same time, when did you start turning it off? Because I know for me, it was just I was coming to sets classes, and then the day before, 2 days before I went light, Friday I took off, and then Saturday was a race.
Yeah.
But from a real athletic standpoint, if I wanted to do, say, like the elite or really step up my training, what are some maybe extra things I should do and stuff along those lines?
Yeah, so I don't think I prepped enough, and I think my performance showed that. Although there was the heat wave.
Coming in within the first 10 is showing that. So he's obviously a little harder on himself there.
I am. I honestly am.
Doing it under 30 minutes, mind you.
Which is 2 minutes faster than last year. So I did improve, but at the same time, I knew we could have done better. I think I should have started, especially running, more sooner than I initially did. I think I started taking my runs more serious.
You mean for the training part?
For the training part, yeah. That's what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So training-wise, I should have started my runs much earlier. As soon as spring hit, I should have started getting out there.
Months out.
Months out. And doing, short runs and long runs.
Now, how do you, and I think a lot of people might feel this way, how do you balance out sets, workouts with, extra running, or I know we talk a lot about, hanging stuff.
Yeah.
How do you not go too much?
Yeah. Very tough thing. I think it's going to be different for everyone because I know my limits and some people don't know theirs, and I think it takes a good amount of time to understand your own limits, so to speak. But I try to you always need a rest day, at least one. And that's an active rest day. So that can be going for a walk.
Okay. So you can still do something.
You should still be doing something.
Because I know people feel oh my God, I didn't do anything, I'm going to gain 10 pounds today.
No. But a rest day isn't you sleep all day. You have to move, do something. Yoga is a good form of resting, essentially, because you got the stretch as well.
Right.
But I would say coming to take a class, and depending on what the class is, so that's why we push what the day of each week is going to be on that Sunday.
Right.
We show what each day is going to be, so that way you can plan your runs around that. I know I could probably get away with a run later on today if I want to, because today was uppers, and there wasn't much cardio involved.
Right.
But on days where there's cardio involved, you should not try to push so much, because you have the end where people do push too much and they wind up getting hurt, and then they're out for long periods of time, and that's what you don't want.
So I know that you talk a lot about if you take more than one class in a day, you might not have worked as hard. That's not to say that's across the board.
Yeah.
But and running is obviously a different workout in itself.
Yeah.
But how do you moderate, say, in a week? Okay, there's 2 uppers, conditioning day and a leg day. Maybe I'm gonna go harder on this day, and everything. Harder obviously means different things to different people.
Yeah.
But you know that your goal is this rugged maniac. Okay. So how do you, when you look at the week, do you see is that what you're saying? Like you look at the workouts and like I know I'm gonna go hard this day.
Yeah, and like you also need to balance out your strengths and weaknesses. Like I know, and not to sound cocky, but I know I'm not gonna have an issue when it comes to an obstacle.
Mm-hmm.
That is easy for me. Everything at that race Saturday, I had no problem doing. Other than the off the rails, but that wasn't my fault.
Right.
It was the machine itself. But no problem with the bars and no problem with the warp wall like you saw in that video. Shout out to Gina for recording that. It was awesome. But that's not my weakness. My weakness is gauging my heart rate and knowing when to turn up, when to turn down. So coming in on like a day like uppers, I'm going to focus more on my reps, more on the weight, just to keep the strength up, keep building strength. But on those cardio days, I'm really trying to push hard. Really trying to push hard because I want to test my cardiovascular system. I want to push it to its limits, and I also want to work on getting the heart rate back down to normal heart rate. So working on heart rate control.
So when you say push hard, you mean how many reps you can do at a high heart rate and maintain that without?
Yes. Being in the red, so to speak, which is your heart rate max, near your heart rate max, as long as I can.
Without feeling exhaustion.
Without feeling exhausted. And then being able to come down quickly to my resting heart rate after that point, which is going to help me learn to control my heart rate and where I need to stay to maintain a good speed during the race. Because I think that's where another part where I messed up is like, because I had my watch going during the race.
Oh, wow, did you?
I did. And I looked, and my first mile I was done in 7:51, which is like way too fast. It's too fast.
Okay.
Because then,
especially with the heat.
Exactly, and like you also like it's not just a straight run; it is the obstacles involved, which wasn't so early on. So like that is a factor. But my second mile I didn't get done until 10.5 minutes. So look at that; it's a huge gap. It's 3-minute difference, over 3-minute difference.
There was all that mud and whatnot.
All the mud. It was like all the crawling, which that does play a factor.
Yeah.
But I really should have saved myself early on because although I did have some gas left in the tank, I could have used more.
Gotcha.
You know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So that's been my issue, is learning to understand my pace, and that's why I should have been started running earlier than what I did. I kind of crammed it because I'm a procrastinator.
Right.
I was like that in high school. I was like that in college, and it shows up, and it's crazy how certain things show up in all aspects of life, whether it is in a textbook or out on a track.
Yeah.
Like I gotta learn to prepare sooner.
But that's a great thing to bring up, is self-evaluation. I think that's one thing that, this place kind of helps with. A lot of the coaches help that, especially like we form good relationships. And when you form relationships with the coaches, they're willing, because they're an outside party, right? So they can see like how you're doing. Like you'll get on me because I'll get tired and I'll start talking, and like what I'm trying to do, which is get out of the workout. But I heard, but you have your own. You have Anthony who pushes you, you know, and so that's someone who sees you from an outside perspective.
Yeah.
But I think what you're touching on, which is great, and I think a lot of people, especially with today being Monday, and again, a lot of people did it for fun. So we're talking right now, if you were trying to elevate yourself.
Yeah, that next level.
That next level is that mental strength now is, how come I didn't do as well as I wanted to, or how can I better my performance? Because I think one thing that we really push here is not settling.
Yes.
And I think that's where you're really touching on it. Yeah. It's really pretty inspiring, since you did better than probably 95% of the people there, and the only other 5% was the 10 people who came. That's probably a terrible percentage. 99% of the people who were there, and then, but you're really talking about, I did well. You're not saying it, I want to say for you. You did well. How do I do even better?
Exactly. I mean, I did do well.
Yeah.
I was 2 minutes faster than I was last year. But the goal was first. I placed 10th. That is a very big gap.
Yeah.
And something I'm proud of how I did, but I wasn't where I wanted to be. Especially with all the hype backing up.
We did hype that up.
Like there should have been a Netflix series for that.
Right.
For that
next
commercial.
Year.
Robin. Fucking awesome. That girl was the best. Sorry, I cursed. But
we'll bleep it out.
We'll bleep it out. But Yeah, I could have done way better than I did, and it's picking apart every little piece because that's just the way I am. There's a justification for anything that happens, and I have to pick apart each piece and see how I can get better to get 5th next year, and then get 1st, and 3rd, and then 1st.
And from a client standpoint, I think, and not that I've heard anyone here say it, but I hear a lot when people are doing fitness, like, I plateaued or I'm not. And what you're really touching on is, we'll take a seat back, either ask someone or self-evaluate. What am I? Maybe I do 10 push-ups and I do quick and I sit there. Well, maybe do 12 push-ups.
Yeah.
Or
do more. Yeah.
Right, whatever it is, or maybe add something to it. So even within the gym, and hopefully what people might take away from what you're touching on right now is, how can you always push yourself? If
And like, not to hype us up or anything, but a lot of routines, as far as like a traditional gym goes, they get really stale.
Yeah.
They get stale. They get boring. You have to pay astronomical amounts of money to see someone one-on-one and learn more, but it gets stale.
Yeah.
At least with this, I mean, not even from being a coach, being a client, because I am a client.
This is your main training, right?
This is where I train.
Yeah.
This is what I do, and it has not gotten stale in the past 3 years.
I know what we were talking before we started filming, and now I guess to kind of slide it over from a client's perspective, I was really surprised. I wasn't trying to go anywhere near as hard as you were, Anthony, but and I know a lot of people felt this way from just filming everyone going, not how easy the race was, but it wasn't, the cardio was there.
Yeah.
I did the proper things. I asked a lot of questions to coaches, which they're here for. It's, that's what they're here for. I asked a lot of questions leading up about hydration, about training, when should I shut it down, and there was little things like I wasn't ready for how high the walls were. I got a little nervous up there. Climbing over the wall, I was like, if I fall, this is going to be bad. Like, little things like that got me nervous. But the race itself was, overall, I didn't run at all leading up to this, and I felt good.
Yeah.
And I'm not in the best of shape, but we were, and I think a lot of sets members were this way as well. And this is not the go rah sets, but it's a testament to the workouts here. We were past, when I ran, we were past our heat. We were into the heat before us.
Damn.
Like, we went past them because, and it was weird. I was like, are we cheating? Like, we only skipped, it wasn't even skip, we failed. When I say failed, I mean Rob, who also shoots with me, the bars, we fell.
Yeah.
Like, we just
How far did you get on that?
Like the second bar. I didn't do too well on that. But I felt bad for like skipping around stuff. But we tried it. But that was the only one that we skipped around. But like when there was the mud, we went through the mud. When you had to go in the water, like we didn't go around it. We went through everything. And and as I'm running, and I'm like, wow, sets really got me ready for this race. It was really a testament to the workouts here.
I had a lot of clients come up to me and tell me it was easier than they thought they would. And they did better than they thought they would.
Even with the heat, because it was hot, but with the prep work that we were supplied here with, because let's face it, when we work out here, a lot of times it's hot.
Yeah.
So we were ready for that regardless. We run outside here, so we know the temperatures.
Yep.
You tell us to hydrate in here.
Yeah, and I'd say everybody was really prepared for Saturday.
Yeah.
We had all the water there. Everybody was hydrating themselves. We had, I want to say, 3 people maybe get hurt. But I mean, it's going to happen. It's a risk you take when you do these races.
Yeah. And hurt, not like detrimental. They just.
No, like minor injuries,
240 people. It's a small number.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
But overall, I was
really. I got injured. Cut my head. Trying to be fancy.
Sure. What did you roll? You roll out?
Yeah, I tried. This is my brain. I'm like, oh, I could do a somersault out of this, build up momentum, get right on my feet and go. But what really happened was I do a front flip out of the tube. A rock cuts my head, and I still stumble to get up anyway. So no momentum was built there.
But it's a great story now.
But I'm sure it looked cool, at least in my brain.
Right. So let's talk about the overwhelmingness of when you looked around. There was a set shirt.
Oh my God!
How amazing was that,
everywhere?
Man? That was incredible.
It was the sea of black and green.
Yeah, it was, and both gyms obviously come together as one, which we love to do.
Yep.
But I gotta say, I think I might have stolen the moment for myself when I went up to the bleacher to take a video and picture of everyone. I was like, oh my god, it was
amazing,
incredible.
And then like I posted it yesterday. I had to look up the picture from last year.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That comparison was.
It is.
Last year was
more
a lot.
than double.
This was.
Yeah, last year we had over 100. This year we had over 240.
It was incredible.
It's mind blowing that in a year we had 100 plus more.
Yeah, and everyone ran. Everyone participated. And
everyone did it.
It was so cool in waiting for one of the stations for everyone to come up. It's like, where is everybody? Where is everybody? And then all of a sudden,
boom,
sets. Absolutely incredible.
It's awesome.
And then the after party that night.
That was good.
Fun.
That was good.
That was a lot of fun. Seeing everyone dressed up and whatnot. I didn't really recognize anybody. I'm not used to seeing people dressed up. That part was kind of funny. I was like, oh, that's what you look like? Normal? That's funny. Or maybe this is normal and this is what other people. It's like,
yeah.
Now let's talk about post. So recovery.
I am hurting. I don't know.
2 days later. Oh yeah.
But
Parts of me are hurting that I didn't know would hurt.
Yeah.
Like parts of my back are killing me, and my legs.
Well, I know why my back is sore because I spent probably an hour up on the warped wall.
Most epic photo ever. I'm pretty sure everyone's seen it at this point.
Yeah.
This
reaching
man
out our hands to the world
Anthony.
of fitness. Reaching out our hands, but yeah, I must have helped over 60 people over that. I was up there for like 30 to 45 minutes.
That's crazy.
Ripping, like it was one arm row after the other. Grab a hand, put it on there, grab a leg, pull it up. It was like one arm rows.
You guys just went up there and
constantly.
just stayed up there?
Yeah. Even me, like doing the warp wall the second time, I'm like, where's everybody going up there? So I'm like, usually we stay and we help everybody out. And after I crossed the finish line again, I went back because I saw most of our team coming back. And I'm like, I gotta help them up there. I'm not gonna stand here and not do that. So I went I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, I'm just trying to help my team out. Can I go up there? He's like, yeah, no problem. So I went up the ladder from the side, went up. And I didn't even help. I helped Setsman, but I also helped like randoms.
That's awesome.
Random people.
Yeah.
They were just asking for it. But
that was one of the coolest parts about the race.
it was cool.
When I ran up, I was trying to climb up and my leg got caught, and some guy just pulled me, and then he ran off. He didn't even like. I went to say thank you, and he's just gone.
Thank you. You're welcome. Okay,
Thank you,
bye.
sir. All right.
Role models. Do you remember Role Models?
Yeah, I remember the movie. I don't remember.
Remember when they're doing the role playing, and he saves her, and he's like,
"Oh
goes,
yeah,
thank you for saving me.
yeah,
You're welcome.
Right,
Okay, bye."
We won't spoil any more of that movie.
That's a great movie. But yeah, it's just, everybody comes together with those. It's cool. It's like that with Rugged. It's like that with Spartan.
Yeah,
You're all there to have a good time.
that's so cool.
Yeah.
So now we're 2 days later. What did you do yesterday? Did you work out today?
I did work out today, but it definitely wasn't as hard as I usually do because I physically couldn't go as hard as I usually do.
But would you what do you recommend for like recovery? So like I'm a client, right? I didn't work out yesterday. I plan on working out today. I still feel it.
Yeah.
If I feel it, is it okay to work out or should I not? What do you?
I would and they do this at Thrive a lot. Shout out to Thrive. Dr. Joe and AJ, they recommend the light system. So you got a green light, yellow light, red light.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on the pain, how it feels, if you get a yellow light, but it goes back down to green light, you can go. You can keep going.
Mm-hmm.
But if it stays at red, if it's at a red and stays at red, you need to stop.
Mm-hmm.
So it just takes it takes a little knowing your body,
Right.
knowing how you feel. And today is a solid uppers day. It's pretty much the opposite body parts of what we worked
Mostly,
over
right.
the weekends, chest and tricep day.
Would you say no matter what after a race you should take off the next day?
I think it's a good move. And like someone like me, I actually went back to my parents' house and I popped in the pool, which is like really good because like at least you're still moving.
Yeah.
It's in cold water, which cold water therapy or cold therapy in general is very good for the body.
I should have called you because I thought about you in the shower. Not like in this way. I because a while ago you had told me
You
that
can take me in the shower. That's fine.
But you had told me that you take cold showers.
Yeah.
So I was standing there and I was like, all right, let me try this. I did this yesterday, and I put it to freezing, and it was a hard 10 seconds.
It was hard.
It was hard to say. I try to say as long. How long would you say? What's a good cold?
They recommend 3 minutes.
3 minutes? No,
3
no,
minutes.
10 seconds at best. I don't
And
know.
then the cryo chamber at Thrive, you're supposed to do that. You do that for 3 minutes, but that's at over negative 120 degrees.
Oh my god.
It's to the point you wear gloves, you wear slippers, you wear earmuffs,
But that's
a mouth
it.
mask, and that's like it. You have your bottoms on,
Oh my god.
tops off, but I mean, it's like it's cold to the point where you don't even like really feel it. I don't know. It's a weird feeling. But there's this guy Wim Hof, Wimhof, Wim Hof, legend. Like he goes out to like Antarctica and sits in the water.
Oh my God.
He is able to self-regulate his own body temperature.
Wow.
So he can just be in the water forever. He's a freak.
I'm not on that level.
No, but like the cold water therapy is very good for you. So I would recommend, and like I mean in combination with movement. I mean like I said, because a rest day you should still involve some sort of movement. Swimming's the best thing you can do.
Yeah. I messed up. I just sat in bed all day. That's all I did.
I mean that's.
I did the exact opposite of that.
Yeah, which like you probably woke up today a little stiff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. At least today I felt somewhat nimble. I mean I still have parts of me that are sore. My back is sore obviously from ripping people up for 45 minutes straight.
You're switching arms to make sure it was even.
Yeah. And I don't know, like, it got to a point where it wasn't me helping them, it was me doing it for them. And I didn't want to be a jerk, but it's like,
just let go.
I'm not here to do it for you, I'm here to help you.
Yeah.
So I'm donating my time here, not to rip you up over the wall. You need to give me some little effort, you know? You know what I mean?
It's kind of fun.
Most people did, but there's a good amount. It was like, I was doing it for him.
It was
I'm like,
tiring.
you're gonna pull me over this. Like I'm gonna fall down with you.
Imagine.
Oh.
It was kind of a surreal because I waited for Robin to do it, and I'm standing on this wall and I see her running at me. And I'm like, what type of Saturday is this? This is the weirdest thing I've ever done in my life. Where like I'm waiting for her to come up to grab her to then pull her over this wall for fun. And then I didn't realize. I thought there was like a slide on the bottom. I didn't look. I didn't realize we had to climb over that. Wait, did you jump on that thing? I saw a video of that.
You noticed that, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I went.
I was like so nervous going up that, and then I see a video of this one. He runs up the wall and then just does this. And you just jump onto the net. Do they recommend that? Are you supposed to do that? You just did it?
I just did it.
You took the Spider-Man thing too far that time.
Yeah, I did. I don't know. My whole thing was like, I saw that guy that was in front of me, and I'm like, I can get past him, and I leaped, got up the wall and leaped. You see me like whoosh, leap, and I didn't even make it to the midway of the net, and I looked at him, and I recognized my body feeling, and I'm like, all right, he can take it.
He wins.
Because the guy behind me was like, he was far back, so I smoked him, and I'm like, all right, this guy gonna have ninth place at this point. I initially did thought I could have grabbed third because I did think Ant was ahead because by the time I got over the last fire jump and I saw him up there, he was ahead and there was only two other guys.
Yeah.
And I think it was the same three that placed first, second, third, like, including Ant. Ant got first. And it looked like the other two. I recognized the one dude, he got third. And I'm like, oh my God, I can pull off third place.
Yeah.
Cody finished, but I wasn't close. But I thought, so like, it was crazy that little thought pushed me to get up there.
Yeah.
And pass
Self-motivation.
30 more dudes within two obstacles, you know?
Wow. Yeah.
So that was nice.
How did you warm up for the event? Is this something you do? Did you warm up for the event?
Yeah, so I usually follow Anthony. He's got a good warm-up protocol. It's under a mile, very low-key jog, pretty much around the facility, kind of. It's also an opportunity to just check out the course. Check it out, see what's up, see what we're getting into. And then after that, we'll do anywhere like high knees, butt kicks, lunges, squats.
So high active.
High active stuff. I go find a tree and I hang on the tree, do some pull-ups off the tree, just to get used to like the bar hang stuff.
I hear back and forth. Do you stretch or don't you stretch?
Well, there's two different types of stretching. I don't think nobody knows that. There's dynamic stretching and there's static stretching. Static is that stretching you're thinking of.
Okay.
Like holding for seconds and relaxing. Dynamic is more of like movement. So doing like getting a wide stance, dropping down, squat, and rocking from side to side.
That's dynamic?
That's a dynamic stretching motion. You can hold for a few seconds. And doing like good mornings that we do.
So you want to do dynamic
dynamic stretches. You never want to like hold something until after you're done. Because it's like, if you're not warmed up, you're gonna injure yourself. You gotta think of like if you were to take, and I'll use this method. Is if you take a piece of Laffy Taffy in the freezer, so you take it out of the freezer and you go to bend it, what's gonna happen?
It's gonna break.
It's fucking snap in half.
Right.
Sorry, it's gonna snap in half. But if you have that Laffy Taffy warmed up, all loose, You're going to be able to stretch it, bend it, move it
Interesting.
around. That's basically how your like tendons work.
So then after the race, you want to do static.
Definitely. And I also, that morning before I left, I foam roll.
Wow.
Foam roll. So I was actually up at 5:30.
You're way too amped.
Way too amped. Way too amped. And foam rolls. I also bring my rolling stick.
Okay.
I roll out. So like
The
that's
muscles?
a good, I roll them out. So like it's a good way to loosen them up.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So then during the race, again, this is mostly going to be rugged focused, but I know one thing for myself I was trying to think of is I wasn't mile counting, I wasn't obstacle counting, I was just thinking forward.
Go.
Right. Was that what you say you were doing? Were you?
Yes and no. I was kind of looking for those mile markers.
But you were also racing. I wasn't necessarily racing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So like for me, it's like my goal was to just it was me versus me and to run my race, and that's what I did. The last race we did, which is how I somehow ended up in front of Anthony and beat him in that one. But I ran my race and I stayed true to what I was trying to do. So I wanted to start off slow and progressively get faster because a lot of the times with these races, like the Rugged Maniac, these elite athletes, they'll go too fast in the beginning, burn themselves out, and I noticed it because the one kid that I saw, I knew him. He took third last year.
Wow.
And by the time I got to the fire jump, I saw him walking.
Wow.
In the beginning, I saw him going hard. Like, he was up there with everybody. So I saw that, and I was like proud of myself for knowing that was going to happen. So I anticipated that, and I was able to get past him.
That's cool.
And build up that. But like, it was very important to conserve myself for that last mile and a half.
Yeah.
And kind of gauge it the first mile and a half gauge. You got to break it up.
Right. Yeah, now I'm thinking back to it. That's definitely. I think we recognized as we were running it. We got to the first mile, because the first mile was pretty easy.
Yeah. And
everyone kept talking about the woods. We're like, all right. And the woods was rough because of the mud and whatnot.
Yeah.
But I guess it was definitely once we saw the fire pits. And the other thing, I don't know, you guys were racing it, so I don't know. During when everyone else went, they probably experienced the same thing that we did, not necessarily what the elite did, which was wait times.
Yeah.
At the stations.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe this is something that people can take in consideration for whatever race is coming up. But when you see, you don't have a choice. You have to wait in line.
Yeah.
So there's no point of running because
isn't.
you're literally going to be waiting. That's one thing we realized as we were going was we're running. We're like, oh, we feel great. But then like you can see up ahead, it's like, oh well.
Yeah.
We might as well conserve.
And although I did do it one time before going again, I did find that frustrating.
Yeah.
So for anyone that didn't like that part,
especially if you have momentum building, because
Yeah.
it was a momentum killer sometimes.
like if you are somebody that you're not trying to get top 3 finish, but you are trying to push yourself a little bit, I think elite is a good way to go anyway.
Yeah.
Because at least you won't have that waiting time at each obstacle. It was go.
I would definitely say that was a frustrating. Maybe if we were with the whole team, everyone was talking and whatnot.
Fun, yeah.
But at the same time, the momentum was there, and a lot of it was you need a running start to go.
Yeah.
And the last thing I wanted to do was stop, cool down. It's hot. Start thinking about it. The mud's on my hands. And now go. I want to just go.
Yeah.
So I would definitely say, like you're saying, elite might be the way to go, but also just be mentally prepared for a lot of stop and go.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we're going to necessarily implement that into like a workout, but it was definitely that wasn't something I was prepared for.
Yeah, well, that's something we don't implement. We always implement that go strategy. So I guess it was a nice break in between everything, but at the same time,
And sometimes it was a gift, but a lot of the times, especially like I said, we were not prepared to do as well as we did because I've never actually had a chance to test out how I train here.
Yeah.
And something that I know all the coaches always talk about is the races are a great opportunity to showcase to yourself more than anything what you're made out of.
For sure.
I mean, and we were joking about this before. The one thing that really got me was the height of some of the things. I climb up and I was like, I hope the structural integrity of this thing is sound. There's a lot of heavy people running on this thing. It's muddy. And I'm like, I see Robin coming and I'm like, man, this is... I'm nervous about everything. So I started thinking about that. Like when you climb up the warp wall and then you had the net, I was like, this would really suck to fall through. Like that mental game kind of got to me. But a lot of it definitely was. I was nervous about stupid things. I mean, you don't ever know what you're gonna think about.
Yeah.
Especially,
Sure.
I didn't look up the race beforehand, which I kind of wish I did. And maybe I don't know. Maybe
I
you
did.
can speak to this because I didn't know what was coming up next.
Yeah.
So like that kind of surprise was like you have to do it. Like you can't.
Yes.
If I anticipated, maybe I would have thought about it. But like it was okay. This is a walk. Gotta get up it. Gotta get. I mean, you were also doing it for an elite, so you had to prepare for that.
For that elite perspective, I did have the map beforehand, and I was.
They did email it. I just didn't look at it.
They did email it. Yeah, they emailed everybody, and I was like studying that the night before. Like, all right, I'm gonna turn up after
The strategy
fire
game
jump.
of it,
I'm
yeah.
gonna go. Like, just go. That was my plan. Those last few stations, I think it was whatever it was before the fire jump. That's when I planned to turn up.
There was the high mountain, and then the hills.
The trenches. The one where you walked across with the rope.
Oh yeah, I
And
forgot
then the
about
fire
that.
jump was after that. So
Yeah.
I knew after that, I had to go all out because there was only 4 stations left, and the finish line was right there.
Wow.
It was
You see
under a
two-
mile.
That's the two different perspectives you have there. You have the
Yeah.
the elite racer and the person who's just trying to push themselves.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So either way, I don't think there's a wrong.
Yeah.
Either prepare
And then,
for it
like,
or be surprised.
if you've been around for the past 2 or 3 years, comparing the course last year to this year, it was a lot more spread out.
Do you mean the obstacles?
Obstacles were a lot more spread out. Like in the beginning, there was like I felt like that whole first mile was nothing. It was just like a whole mile run.
Sprinklers. That was
Sprinklers, that was
Yeah.
it. But like last year, there were so many obstacles stacked on top of each other.
Oh really?
So it felt more spread out. It felt like a lot more running this year,
Yeah, there was a lot of
which
hills.
doesn't benefit me because I'm not that good of a runner. But it was nice in a way to
Yeah.
know it ahead of time to prepare myself. Like, all right, there's gonna be a lot of running in the beginning. Try to conserve yourself because you're gonna need it for the obstacles that are coming up.
Interesting.
Yeah, a lot of it bunched up by the woods. Like before and after the woods is where most of it was.
Yeah.
Bulk of it.
That last year or this year?
This year.
This year, yeah.
This
yeah.
year. The last year just everything felt more on top of each other, and things were at different places.
Oh, okay.
Like
So it's
that tilt, the ladder tilt,
Yeah.
whatever they called that. That was right before the wall.
Oh,
last
really?
year. That was right before
So
the
they
wall.
shot your shoulders before you had to go.
Yeah, yeah, but this year was that pole.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In which like Ant told me, he's like, don't even slide down that pole. Just jump off that
onto it?
platform and go.
It wasn't easy to slide down that thing at
No,
all, especially
no.
like.
Well, that's your side job.
I'm gonna check this out. We're still doing 2 minutes.
I was telling some of the clients, all right, till I get your weekend job, let's go, quick.
Firefighters.
Earn those bills.
I remember just because I remember watching K Fair do it. It was a bum shoulder, and
She's a beast, dude.
she is a beast. But she basically just grabbed and jumped, and that was kind of my strategy.
That's what I did.
Yeah, because I wasn't gonna slide. I didn't understand how that was.
Yeah.
Just it looked like it was gonna hurt more than anything.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
It wasn't that high that you were gonna get hurt if you
Mhm.
jumped off of it. But yeah.
yeah.
How did you? What I know, I had actually Brooke had mentioned, and I took her advice, and it was great. Which was a light but heavy, not heavy carbohydrate breakfast. So I had hard-boiled eggs.
Yeah.
Robin had a protein bar, and we felt great.
Yeah.
For that, and the night before we ate light, but like heavy carbs.
Yeah.
So that way the body worked. Was that something that you would recommend?
Yeah, no. I've also been doing recent studies that carb loading that they claim you should do isn't necessarily the way to go. It just depends on you. Having more protein in the beginning
Yeah.
will benefit you more. You're gonna use that for energy in a sense, but you do use carbohydrates first. I do overnight oats. That's my favorite deal. That's like Coach Joe recommends that. So I'll do overnight oats. Half a cup of oats, some oat milk, I do wild blueberries in there, a little bit of honey, and that usually holds me for the most part because I also don't want to feel full while out there. I also don't want to feel starving. You know, I want to feel good.
You want to
Comfortable.
be able to focus.
Comfortable.
Right.
Exactly.
I know one thing that I did, and everyone works, so this might be a little bit crazy. Both our jobs kind of give allowance to us to train.
Yeah.
But I know one thing I tried to do, which kind of fell apart because I had no idea what time I was running, but was try to base my day around the time I was going to race for about 2 weeks,
Yeah.
so that when my body was. This is something that people might want to try to implement, and definitely want to hear your opinion on this. But I knew that I was going to race around 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, which I wound up going around 12:30. But I try to base. I'm going to eat at this time. I'm going to have my body physically active at this time.
Yeah.
Is that something that you would
Great
recommend?
idea. Yeah, that's a great idea. 'Cause you can't just show up and hope for the best, you know?
Yeah.
If your body's not used to it, I think it'd be a good idea to spend the first couple weeks preparing yourself to be active and energized at that time you're going to run. That's something I could have done better, was having my body ready at 9 o'clock to go, you know? Because, like, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, when I'm up at 5, of course I'm going to be ready by that time.
Right.
But on Tuesdays and Thursdays, when I have the opportunity to sleep in, I do, and I shouldn't. You know, I should keep my body used to being active at that time, like probably coming to take the 9:15 class, being used to working for that hour.
Right.
You know? So I think that's a great idea.
So the body's cycled into thinking.
Yeah, like, so it's your body builds off routine.
Yeah.
You know, it gets used to a routine. So if you build up that routine, it'll work.
So let's circle it all around. What's your biggest takeaway from the Rugged Maniac 2019?
Biggest takeaway, I just can't believe the turnout we had.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
So amazing. And then just for me personally, start my preparation sooner. As far as running.
I know there were some talks. You might not be racing again. You might be racing again. I know you went on vacation in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
What is the plan? What is next for Coach Mike?
So
after post vacation.
Yeah. So once we end Peru, which will actually be, I'll be gone August 24th until September 3rd.
That is technically a working vacation, though. You guys will be hiking in the mountains.
So like now I'm shifting to essentially what Keith Murphy from Jackson does. He does rucking, which is like hiking with weight. Mm-hmm. That's what I'm going to start doing for now, which I'm also cramming because
you're only 30 days away.
I'm only 34 days away, no big deal. But so I'll be doing that, and then I would love to get a stadium sprint in through Spartan when I get back. I just got to see funds allow it, time allows it, if I physically feel up for it, because those races I shine well in, and they actually have penalties if you can't do the obstacle, so
yeah,
that'll benefit me as well. So yeah, if I could pull it off, I'd definitely do a stadium sprint before the season ends, but that's probably it, probably just one more. And then my goal for 2020 is to really shut it down, focus more on business, work, not do so much traveling, not do so much races, big races. Like I definitely want to keep doing the sprints. Mm-hmm. That's where I feel like my best is at.
It's also something just to physically check where you're at as well.
Exactly. And like, you know, I got to keep seeing improvement, keep it interesting, and keep me going.
Yeah.
What about you?
I know for myself, I have my first Spartan coming up. That's August 10th in Boston, which was a big reason I wanted to do this rugged.
Yeah.
Was,
it's a great test out to see.
Yeah, see how it.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm happy I did like I said, I don't want, because I was talking to Joe, and Joe was telling me the walls are a little bit higher this Spartan. Yeah, so I'm happy I did these walls first, watching as much YouTube as possible. But I know I have an ebb and flow of workouts where like I'll be motivated and not motivated, and I see these races as just an opportunity to like, okay, I need to come to the gym, I need to eat better and stuff like that. And then obviously the focus is going to be on this, our new YouTube channel. Our YouTube channel. Yeah, I guess we have a YouTube channel. This will be on the YouTube, and this is going to be our podcast, like we were saying. We're going to do this. We're going to try to do this twice a month, and it's going to correlate with whatever's going on in the gym. Yep. You can follow us on our journeys, on our social medias and whatnot, along with everyone else on their pages and sets itself. We definitely want to highlight. So if you guys are going through something similar, if you have any questions or you want us to talk about anything. Obviously, if you see me, or you obviously see Mike 5 times a week to talk to Mike.
If you have any topics you guys want us to cover through this podcast, please let us know. Yeah. We're open to anything. We
have 2 perspectives, the client and the coach, the beauty and the beast, and the I'm trying to do a send-off. I guess that wasn't it. But, I'm Steven.
I'm Mike.
And
we'll see you next time.
Stay classy, Sets. Cool.
All right, that was good.
That was fun.
That was good.